The following program is brought to you by Element 14, the electronics community where you can connect and collaborate with top engineers from around the world. Join now at element14.com/presents.
Hi, and welcome back to the Learning Circuit. In this video, I'm going to talk about one of the most popular motion sensors that can be found in security systems, lights, light switches, and more, the PIR sensor. If you've ever walked past a house at night or into a dark room and had the lights turn on automatically, they likely used a motion detector called a PIR sensor. PIR stands for passive infrared. Passive devices or components are those that do not generate energy, but can store it or dissipate it. Infrared is a form of electromagnetic radiation with wavelengths longer than visible light. Everything emits some low-level radiation. The hotter something is, the more radiation is emitted. PIR sensors contain pyroelectric elements that can measure infrared radiating from objects in its field of view. Let's talk about what that means. PIR sensors contain elements made up of a pyroelectric material. Pyroelectric materials are similar to the piezoelectric materials we've learned about with accelerometers. But where piezoelectric materials generate a voltage in response to movement, pyroelectric materials do so in response to temperature changes. A pyroelectric material sitting at an ambient temperature will generate no voltage. However, when that material is cooled or heated, it temporarily generates a voltage. This happens when the PIR senses a temperature change within its field of view. PIR sensors typically contain 2 or 4 pyroelectric elements. Just like with your eyes, each detects a slightly different area. So when an object that's warmer or cooler moves into view, it should be detected by just one element first, creating a difference between the two elements. That difference in temperature translates to sensing movement. However, with 2 elements, a sensor can only detect changes along one plane, like coming in left or right. With 4 elements, movement can also be detected from top and bottom. Though, even 4 elements may not be enough to detect movement in every direction, so mounting of the sensor should be considered carefully. Movement can only be detected once objects enter the field of view or detection area of the sensor. Looking at this array of sensors, you can see that viewing angles range from 62 degrees to 74 to 120 to 139 degrees and more. You may notice on some of these a distance is also noted: 12 meters, 2 meters, 5 meters. This is the maximum distance away from the sensor that it can detect change. Indoor PIR sensors may detect up to 20 meters, while outdoor models may be able to detect up to 150 meters. The detectable distance of a PIR sensor relies on how much of the environment the elements can see. The elements can be super tiny, but their field of view can be increased by adding a lens. You can see on this SMD PIR sensor that the model without a lens only sees 2 meters, while the model with a lens can see 5 meters. These lenses appear flat. To increase the detectable range, a certain type of lens can be used, a Fresnel lens. This PIR sensor's domed lens is made up of Fresnel lenses. My degree is actually in technical theater, so I first heard about Fresnel lenses when I was working with theatrical lighting. I was fascinated when I found out how they work. Fresnel lenses were designed to save on weight, space, and material while achieving the same qualities of a larger and denser lens. A normal lens is a solid piece of glass forming a continuous convex arc. That glass can be heavy and uses a lot of material. With a Fresnel lens, the curvature is broken down into slices, and those pieces are flattened into a much thinner lens, but still maintains the angles of the original. By adding a Fresnel lens, the detection range of a PIR can be increased significantly without drastically affecting the size of the device. Fresnel lenses were traditionally made of glass that can withstand the heat of the lamps. Since PIR sensors don't get hot, their lenses can be made of plastic. A traditional Fresnel lens looks like this, with circles rippling out from the center. This is what a PIR sensor Fresnel lens looks like. This PIR sensor has a lens broken up into 128 detectable zones, split between its 4 elements, increasing accuracy and the distance of the detectable area. So when an object, say a sheep, passes in front of the background, the temperature at that point in the sensor's field of view will rise from the ambient temperature to body temperature and then back again. The sensor converts the change in infrared radiation into a change in the output voltage, and this triggers the detection. Some PIR sensors come as just the sensor unit, often with 3 pins being ground, signal, and VCC. Others come soldered to built-in processors that can help convert the analog data into a digital signal. This type of unit is extremely popular with hobbyists. It's cheap and easy to interface with. It has the same 3 pins, but also 2 pots that allow the user to vary the sensitivity and delay time for the sensor to respond to changes in its field of view. Careful when buying this type. They may all look the same, but upon closer inspection, the lenses on some are not true Fresnels, just plastic covers. Real Fresnel lenses will have multiple thumbprint-looking patterns as seen from the inside of the lens. But either way, the specs on the datasheet should be correct for that model, so just be sure to check. When looking for PIR sensors out in the wild, you might find them in security systems, contactless light switches, and motion-reactive holiday decorations. PIR sensors are only one of various types of motion sensors, but they're probably the most popular among hobbyists for their price range and ease of use. Have you used a PIR sensor in a project? I'd love to hear about it. Post about your project builds and any other questions you have on the Element 14 community on element14.com/the learning circuit. Happy learning!